Uone, ubredan.
Yeah.
Nandi one. Okay, today we're not going to do much because, like I said the last time, I'm going to give you a test on Saturday, which will be on this chapter of statistics. So today I'm going to do just a straightforward example with you. And then from there, you must be preparing for a test that you will write on Saturday. So the question we're going to do is the one I sent to the WhatsApp group. So let me read it here. So a school held a sports day. One of the items on the program was an obstacles race. Teams of 10 parents and learners participated in the race. The table below shows the time taken in minutes by each member of a particular team to complete the race. So we are given the time taken by people who were running in that specific sports. All right. So now the first question requires us to find out how long in minutes did it take for the fastest runner or fastest member of this team to complete the race. We want to know the person who took less time in completing the running in this case. So I believe you can see that in this case, this first person is the one who's going to take a short time, right, to complete the race. If you compare all the values we are given in this case, this one took 4 minutes to complete the run, while there is another one who took 25 minutes to complete the run. So you may suspect that this might be older people, right? Because this is the running of the older and the younger people. So these ones, they might be older people who complete in 25 minutes, but there is someone who completed the run in 4 minutes, of which to answer that question, T is equal to 4 minutes. So we have answered the first question. Let's go to the second question. So the second question requires us to determine the mean. So is the mean of this data that is given here. So the question could be, how do we calculate the mean? I'm going to show you how we calculate the mean. You mustn't forget this one, is very important. So if we are to calculate the mean, we have to add all these values and we divide by the total number of values that are given. How many values are we given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're given 10 values, right? So it means we had 10 people who were running. So then now we're going to say 4 plus 12 plus 13 plus 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 20 plus 22 plus 22 plus 25. And then you must divide this by what? You divide by 10. That is the formula for calculating the mean. You mustn't forget this. Then now let's see what value do we get for mean. It's 4 plus 12 plus 13 plus 16 plus 17 plus 18 plus 20 plus 22 plus 22 plus 25. So that will give us 169, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Already.
169 divided by 10. And then we can then divide this by 10. It will then give us 16.9. So this is the mean. The mean in this case will be equal to 16.29. And it's how we're supposed to calculate the mean for this specific question. Mean is very important. Let me underline this. This is very important. You're going to do this in all other grades. So take note of this mean and how to calculate it. Here we calculated it when we were given one variable. There is a situation where you will have to calculate mean when we are given two variables. I will take you through that when you go to grade 11. Of how you calculate the mean when we are given variable with, two variables. All right, then now the next question is for calculating the standard deviation. So with that question, I can't advise you to do manual. Otherwise, you're not going to finish it. You must use your scientific calculator. I will take you through the steps again of using a scientific calculator to calculate the standard deviation, which is indicated by this symbol, sigma, like this. So you do it this way. You press mode button. I hope you have a scientific calculator with you that side. Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah, so you press a mode button, and then from there you go to option number 3, which is stat. So when you press that option, you will see you press option number 3, which is a return stat. After you first press mode button or setup button.
Mine is 2. My stat is 2.
Oh, it's option 2. Yes, then press option 2. So when you press option 2, what do you see?
I see 1, a colon, then there's 1 minus var.
Yeah, 1
Then
minus var is the one we're supposed to choose. Choose that one for 1 minus var is the one we're going to use. So when you press it, it will give you an X with a table at the bottom. You are getting that?
and yes.
Yeah, it's an X with a table below. And then on that table, we are going to put these values that are given here. And when we put them, for example, let's say we are putting the first value there. So we're going to say 4, and then from there we press equal sign so that it can give us an option for entering the second value. So let's enter these values. So the first one is 4, the second one is 12. Don't forget to press equal sign so that it gives an option for capturing the next value. And then the other one is 13, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 22, and then the last one for me is 25. So we now have this information. So once after capturing, you press the AC button, not the on button, right? Because on button, it might delete everything that you have captured. So you press the AC button so that it goes backwards to the start screen. So, but when you go backward to the start screen, your calculator will now be having a stat option on top there. So if you see on the screen at the top there, you will see something written stat. Is it what you are getting in your calculator as well?
Yes, and also a 0.
Yes, 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 that's correct. And then from there, you will then press Shift 1. You press Shift 1. And then it will give you the options for type, data, sum, var, min, and max. Are you getting that?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. So because we are looking for sigma in this case, we will choose that option for var. In my calculator is option number 4. Do you have an option for var?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. So once you go to that option, you will see the first option there, it's N. N stands for the number of data we're given. Let's say you were given a very huge data, which you cannot be able to count by hand. Then you will have to use a calculator this way, and then it will be able to count the number of data we have. These are straightforward. We only have 10 data. So, but if you wanted your calculator to validate that, you just choose first option. And the second option in my calculator, I have min. Min is the one we calculated in the previous question. So if you choose that option for X bar, it's X with bar on top or with dash on top. So that symbolizes what is called the mean. So if you want your calculator to calculate the mean for you, then you choose that option number 2. And then we also have option number 3. So it's sigma, is this sign that we have here with an X in front. So that symbolizes the standard deviation, of which is what we want to calculate on this specific question. So if you want to calculate standard deviation, then you choose option number 3. And let me also explain option number 4, which that indicates the variance. If the question requires you to calculate the variance, you're going to choose option number 4. But for us, we are interested in option number 3 of sigma X. So let's choose that option. So choose that option and tell me what value you are getting for sigma.
I just see the sigma and the X only, and a 0 at the bottom.
Oh yes, press equal sign after having that.
5, should I round it off?
Yeah, we can round it off.
5,79.
Yes, so that is the correct answer. So it's for calculating what is called the standard deviation. That is how we calculate the standard deviation. The same way you can also calculate the mean. So this is elementary programming. I'm sure you have heard about our president talking about programming. So they are really talking about what we have done just now. It's just that here we programmed using calculator. So you may have to learn how to program using a computer, of which is what you can learn when you go to university, if you choose to do engineering, mathematics, or statistics. So you will be required to program using a computer. All right, let's go to the next question. We have answered question number 1.3. Question number 1.4, it says, how many members of a team completed the obstacle race outside of 2 standard deviation of the mean? All right, so I want to show you how you calculate the 2 standard deviation of the mean. We have 1 standard deviation of the mean, and we also have 2 standard deviation of the mean. So here I'm going to show you how we calculate the 2 standard deviation of the mean. So you take the mean, you subtract with 2 multiplied by the standard deviation. So this is called 2 standard deviation of the mean. If you wanted to calculate 1 standard deviation of the mean, so here where we have 2, we're going to replace by 1. So this is a very, very important information. What we are calculating now is called 2 standard deviation of the mean. So you take the mean, you subtract with 2 multiplied by the standard deviation. So let's see what we get if we do that. We calculated the mean from the previous question. So the mean in this case is 16.9 minus 2 multiplied by the standard deviation, which is 5.79. And then with that, we can then put it in our calculator. So it's 16.9 minus 2 multiplied by 5.79. That will give an answer. You got it, ne?
Yeah, 5.32.
Wonderful. So this is the value we get for 2 standard deviation of the mean. If the question requires us to calculate 1 standard deviation of the mean, so here where we have 2, we're just going to replace by 1, and that's all. All right. So then now let's go to the next question. You see, these are just 3 marks, 3 marks for just doing this. And now let's go to the next one. It says, it took another team a total time of X plus 5 minutes to complete the race. Calculate the value of X if the overall mean of the 2 teams combined was 18 minutes. This question is very important. So now, in other words, we have a second team, of which that team, it took 5 minutes more as compared to this one to complete the race. So now the question requests us to calculate the value of X if the overall mean of the two teams combined was 18 minutes. Remember at the mean of the previous team, it was 16.9. And now we are told that if the mean of this team with that team combined is now equal to 18 minutes. So we are required to calculate, we are now required to calculate the value of X. So the question is, how do you do that? This is how we do it. We can first add all these values that we have here. So let's add all the values that we have in this case and see what it will be equal to. Okay, we have it here. So it's 169, right? We added all the values and they will be equal to 169. And then you say, because they will be increasing by 5, all these values will be increasing by 5. So you say 5 multiplied by the number of data that is given. So 5 times 10, it will be 50. And then that 50, you add with 169. So it's 169 plus 50. It will give us what value?
I'm programming my calculator.
Okay. 169 plus, let me have it here. So it's 169 plus 50, which will be 219, right? And then this value you must add with X. And then you now divide by 20. Why do we divide by 20? Because we have data for two teams, which have equal number of participants. So this one is having 10 students, and then the other team is having 10 students. So the two teams in total is having 20 minutes. So this is the mean, of which the value of mean is given is equal to what? It's equal to 18, like this. So now what is left is just to make X the subject of the formula. So let's add this value is 169 plus 219, which will be 388 plus X divided by 20, which is equal to 18. And then we cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, we are then going to have 20 times 18, which is equal to 360. And then we take this to the other side, then it will give us X, which is equal to 360 minus 388. And then that means X will be equal to
negative 22.
Is negative
28.
28. Very true. So that is the value of X we wanted in this case. Let me summarize this again of what we have done. So we took the total values that we have on the first team, and then we add with the total values that we have on the second team, of which the total value on the second team, they are represented by this value. So which we have in this case, and then we divide by the total number of participants, which we must equate with the mean that is given. So we're given 18 as the mean of the two teams. Then from there, after doing that, what is left will be just to make X the simple formula. So when we make X the simple formula, we find that X is equal to negative 20. And that is how we answer that specific question. So as I've said, on Saturday, I'm going to give you a nice test of which you must write. I will want to see how you are performing on this specific chapter. So the test will cover starting from how to find the median, how to find the mode, how to find the 5-number summary, which is mean, lower quartile, a median, upper quartile, a maximum, how to find the range, and also how to find the interquartile range. So those are the things which I'm going to send, or the test you're going to write on Saturday. So you may also have to practice how to draw a box and whisker diagram, how to draw a scatter plot, how to draw a histograph, and how to draw a bar graph. So such kind of questions you must expect in the test you're going to write. I will also put it on the group so that those who are not here will be aware about the test. I also told them the last time when they attended that I'm going to give a test on Saturday just to check how far you are maneuvering on this module. So otherwise for today, let's stop here and enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye.
Bye.